And I would be lying if I did not say that I had some intrepidation about the fact that it's another election year. I cannot take another 2016. What you want? What's up, YouTube? FatKings Phil coming at you for my week 336 update from vertical sleeve gastrectomy, which I had back in July of 2013. Details are below. It's been so long since I made a video. I can't believe I got through that in the first try. Yeah, coming at you with my year-end review, as I usually do. Longtime followers, you might have noticed that I've limited a lot of the stuff on the FatKingsTV page from my journey to the first year, and then of course the annual anniversaries of my surgery and my year-end reviews. So that's kind of where I've left things. And I think I've covered this before, primarily because I have found that as you move forward in the journey, that people who did not know you before will end up going back through your stuff and thinking that's who you are now. Like, you know, who I was back in year 2, 3, 4, 5, when I was really kind of, well, 2, 3, 4 rather, when I was really kind of trying to figure it all out, is very different than who I am now. So when I meet new people, I kind of want them just to get to know who I am now and not have preconceived notions about who I was, per se. So that's why I took a lot of them down, in case you're wondering. It's been a year. Not bad. I was going back and looking at how positive and how optimistic I started this year, and I was just like, what happened? What happened to that guy? Not that bad things happened, but well, I'll just recap. So when the end of last year, or the beginning of this year, or beginning of 2019, let's leave it at that. I was weighing in at 226-ish, I think. I had done 171 workouts in the gym that year. Was working to continue counseling goals, which has been great. Started kind of trying to re-enter the relationship arena. Mixed bag there. And then really aligning myself with listening to messages from the universe. I think we discussed this before as well, but just listening to being humble and listening to the connections that are coming up in your life, messages that keep repeating, and being open to those. I think I've had fairly good success with pretty much all those. I would not say mastery of any, but let's kind of compare and contrast that to this year. So that 226 number, I had dropped like 5 pounds right between Christmas and New Year's Day, which was weird. Right now I'm weighing at 233, or at least I was yesterday, 233, 0.46, somewhere in there. That's been pretty consistent all year. I kind of bounced between 233 and I got as low as 229, but my body really wants to stay in that 233 range. I don't know why. And I've been varying up my working out and eating throughout the year, so that 233 number just seems where my body wants to stay. Now, I'm not resigning myself to that number per se, but yeah, I kind of feel like that's where I'm at. My gym workouts for this year have been 174 times in the gym. It would have been 175, but a little problem on Monday. That was my goal, to get to 175. Actually, I wanted to get to 200 for the year, but I could tell pretty early I wasn't going to get there. You know, I've just been continuing to push hard in the gym. I have increased my weights in the gym. I've increased the workouts I'm doing. I mean, I'm doing way more pull-ups per set. I'm doing 4x7s now. Instead, I think at the beginning of last year I was doing 4x5s. Doesn't sound like a big move, but it's a big move. Go do pull-ups with your body weight. Form has been a big thing. I've actually backed my weights down recently and increased the number of times I'm hitting certain muscle groups. So the muscle groups I want to work have been my pecs, and that has been something I've always struggled with. And for the first time this year, I can actually see pecs underneath all of the remaining loose skin and, you know, what body fat I have left. So that's been a huge plus. I have seen improvements. It's much slower than you know, I'd like it to be. Unfortunately, you know, that's just kind of the nature of it. It seems like that's been the theme, is like, I can work really hard all year to get very slow results, but they're consistent results, so I will take them. You know, progress, not perfection, as we have often espoused in this community. So Let's see, what else was I working on? I was trying to do a lot of travel last year. I didn't really get to, but I want to talk about that because a lot of that was self-induced. So, as you guys may or may not remember, Mel and her girls were coming out in January. We went to Disneyland. Flew out. My daughter and I flew out, met them in LA. Went to Disneyland for a couple days, gave the kids a great experience there, and then flew back here. We spent quite a few days here in Colorado just taking them all around. And then it was just the most magical time. Like, I could not have planned that trip the way it turned out. Like, other than raining in Disneyland, which sucked. I'm not gonna lie. I've never been to Disneyland when it's rained that hard, and it sucked. But we still had fun. Again, her kids had never had that experience, so I'm sure they've had no complaints. It's Disneyland, right? So my daughter and I were a little more disappointed. I'm sure Mel was neither here nor there either, but yeah, it was just an amazing time. Like, and when we got back here, it snowed, which the girls had not seen ever in their life, and it snowed consistently, but not to the point where it impeded us from getting around. We did snow tubing, whatever. The year started off amazing. That trip was just amazing. But having gone to Australia in October the year before, 2018, and then having them out here in January, I had used up a lot of my vacation time. So at best, I was going to get a few trips in this year that would be weekend trips, and I think I canceled about half those weekend trips just for personal reasons. Both of the big ones that I canceled, I remember, was the New York meet and greet, which I just wasn't in the headspace for it. And I had other things going on, which just was telling me don't go. And then there were a couple other trips that just ended up going by the wayside because of circumstances, and I won't get into that. But yeah, started the year off very positive, very upbeat, very in a good Zen place. I think the only other trip I took last year, took trips. I went out to a friend's wedding in California, which was a fun story in and of itself. I was supposed to fly out, my flight kept getting canceled, and I already committed to this trip, and I really wanted to go. I needed this trip. So I ended up jumping in a car and driving all the way to California straight the night before the wedding. And I was wrecked. I was so wrecked. So I left. I had the storm basically chasing me the whole way. It was so windy. It was windy from Colorado all the way to Arizona, almost into Nevada. It was nuts. But I made it. I had a good time. A little bit of drama coming off that trip. A lesson of the universe, and it was good. I mean, it challenged me where I needed to be challenged. It was good. I'm not gonna, again, not talking any grief about that. It was a learning lesson. It all got taken care of. I mean, I figured it out. From there, I think we did Destin, Florida for a week with Tanya, and I'm gonna start naming names and forgetting people, but the Mahonies and all the old school folks that I've just become friends with. We're not just weight loss friends anymore. We're kind of like, a pseudo family, family chosen, if you will. So we did that, and that was really fun. But that Florida heat was oppressive. There's one day where I stayed inside, and I was just like, my daughter and I were like, we gotta take a day off. But other than that, it was a great trip. It was really awesome. We had so much fun. But yeah, it was good. So that was kind of my travel year. This year, job-wise, I jumped between very big projects that were good. Ended up right where I wanted to be as far as working in an agile team. For those of you that do project management or are familiar with agile software development, I'm basically a Scrum team right now. We work in 12-week increments on releases, and so we're about to start our next one here January 20th. We're going to be going out to corporate, planning our next 12 weeks and executing on that. So we're coming to the end of one and start of another one, which is always a big challenge. And then what else did I do? I did end up taking my welding class with my son, which was a lot of fun. I'm really glad we did that. I want to do the advanced one with him. We both really liked it. Matter of fact, if the equipment wasn't so pricey and you didn't require a 220 volt connection, and I'd probably already have bought some of the equipment, and so we could practice here. But I think we'll take the class again. We'll do the advanced class. So that was fun. Other than that, not all of my big goals got executed on last year. I did not get my plastics consult, which I will be doing this year. I'm going to be doing that in February. I don't know that I'm going to I still don't know where I land on going through with that. I really do feel like the only way to change that particular piece of my body that still bothers me the most would be plastics. The real challenge there is, do I want to take 6 weeks off of the gym? Do I want to use the very little bit of time off that I've reaccrued to use it all on sitting around the house doing nothing, healing? That's a tall order, man. We'll see. We shall see. I'm probably as close as I've ever been on saying yes to that. I'm just trying to figure that all out. Lots of lessons from the universe. I put that new category up on the board. I talked to you guys about that, my goal board. For those of you who haven't seen it, go back to my previous year-end things. But like some of the things that happened, just the snow at the hot springs, the super blood moon when Mel and the girls were here. Like, we got to see crazy things that, like, the stars had to line up, literally. I mean, to make some of these things happen, and to have it be completely clear the night of the eclipse, and then the snow be here at the same time the next couple days was just amazing. Like, that's just like, you can't help but understand it. That's, that you can't help but be thankful for those kinds of opportunities. Lots of lessons learned. I did end up reconnecting with somebody that had kind of, unfortunately, we had lost contact with each other through choice. I mean, and worked through a lot of stuff, got a lot of closure in other places. I won't go into details there. I met somebody really fascinating that for the first time in a long time, I was really excited to like get to know somebody and really like somebody brand new and learn them and learn what they're all about and learn from them and just admire them for their journey. Just fascinated by that person. And that didn't go anywhere romantically. I mean, it kind of, we explored that a little bit, but it just didn't end up landing. And it all things for a reason, like this is somebody I definitely would, consider a good friend now and would, I love to have this person in my life as a resource and vice versa. So it was kind of nice getting to know somebody new. But let's see, my son's getting ready to finish up his last 3 semesters of college. My daughter just turned 16 yesterday. So she's getting ready to get her license tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. We'll be at the DMV because the DMV closes early on New Year's Eve. Who knew? It's all right. We'll get it taken care of. All things for a reason, right? A lot of big stuff still on my big board. I'm looking at my picture right here, but some things I really want to do. A lot of trips I still want to take, places I want to see. And I think for this year, my big goals will pretty much remain the same. Like last year was to maintain my fitness level and get 3 days a week of HIIT in, which are interval training. I did that. I actually got to 3 times a week, and then things went sideways, and then I had to kind of restart that. So I am going to be back to attempting 3 times a week starting next week. If I get 2 in a week for a couple weeks, the first 4 weeks of the year, great. I'll take it. Progress, not perfection. Like I said, I changed out my workout. To focus on the muscle groups I want to grow. Back the weights down a little bit. Increase the interval or increase the reps. So that's good. I might switch my whole workout entirely. I've been following a lot of folks on Instagram who are doing specific workout plan that I kind of find appealing. I would like to join them, but I want to make sure I'm dedicated to that. Reason being is I did not finish one of my big goals from last year, which was to finish the draft 1 of my movie script. But instead, I ended up picking up a project and working on the novelization of another friend's movie script. So I'm in the process of novelizing that very slowly. And then he and I will do draft 1 revisions, and then draft 2, 3, whatever we need to do to get it done, and go from there. So that's my goal for this year. And because it's for somebody else, I feel like I will be more driven to make sure I commit, because when I commit, when other people are relying on me, you can't drop the ball. Like when you're relying on you can give yourself a little bit of wiggle room. I mean, normally I'm not one to do that, but obviously I will prioritize things as they come in. This will be a higher priority because it's for somebody else. So that'll be good. And then continue that emotional and mental growth, which has been huge this year. I've made huge strides. The way I kind of set boundaries and the way I kind of evaluate myself. I think you kind of caught me at a lower point right at the end of the year. It just kind of hit an overload point. I'm feeling like, I'm beating myself up a little bit, or I'm like not as positive about all the strides I made this year. But I know that'll pass. It's just me being tired. I didn't take any time off for Christmas or New Year's. I just took the days off. Christmas and New Year's Day, that's it. And I think it's finally catching up to me. I think last night it caught up to me. I was passing out tired, and I wanted to go out and see some friends who were from Texas and spend time over there hanging out with everybody. But I knew I was in a weird headspace, and I just, I tried to almost cancel out of it. And then at the last second, I'm like, nah, just drink some coffee, rally, and go. And I did. I went. I do feel like I was putting on an act. I don't think I was trying to hide, that I wasn't in a good place last night. And I think that kind of came through, especially, I know it came through to one person in particular. And I feel like I owe them an explanation, but I don't, at the same time, I'm not gonna beat myself up for having the feelings I had. I had those feelings, I was trying to process those feelings, and that's okay. Like, it's okay not to, but at the same time, I didn't really want to ruin everybody's New Year's Eve. But yeah, so I wouldn't say I'm as optimistic is the wrong word. I won't say I'm as aggressive about how I'm going into 2020. And I would be lying if I did not say that I had some intrepidation about the fact that it's another election year. I cannot take another 2016 with people being complete knuckleheads and not being able to agree to disagree. And everybody's, on the different sides of the equation are evil, the most evil, vile thing. I just can't handle that crap again. I'm not gonna let that stuff sit. You want to disagree with me, that's fine. We will have differences of opinion for all the time. There was a time when that was actually a good thing. We didn't have to call each other horrible, terrible things. So yeah, that's my year in review, guys. I hope all is going well with you guys. I do feel a little weird making these videos now. Like, I completely feel like I'm out of the loop. Most of the action's on Instagram now, and I'm certainly not in the forefront. Just like I told you earlier this year, I don't need to be in the forefront. I'm at 6+ years out, be 7 years coming up. If I do the plastics journey, I might document that. I think a lot of people do that. I don't see a lot of guys do it, so I think that would be, something I could do. So yeah, we'll see where that goes, but I don't know. All right, guys, till next time, remember, it's good to be the king.